What is going on, YouTube world? We are back in the garage. Unfortunately, the track down here where I'm at is closed for the winter, so what that means is build time. So kind of have good news, bad news on the car. Bad news first, the Pro Charger ended up still leaking oil after 3 times now of it being rebuilt. So I am white flagging the whole thing and just getting another unit. The company I sent it to is going to just refund me for what I paid. And then I'll just have to maybe just sell it for parts or whatever I can get for it. I don't know. Might just be a paperweight on the shop forever. But yeah, I'm tired of it. Like I said, it's been 3 long months, probably longer than that now, of dealing with this, and I'm done with it. They're done with it. They said there's nothing else they can do. So good news is it's winter time, tracks aren't open. So we have time to put this behind us and go forward with the car. So that out of the way, the good news is I did find someone here, kind of local in Atlanta actually, that is selling the same unit. It's a D1 SC off his Camaro. He's parting out because he plans on getting or trading his car in or whatever. So he's just getting the parts off it so he can trade it in factory. And he's giving me a good deal on it, so I won't be out a whole lot of money. So instead of having to go buy brand new. So if everything checks out there, I will be getting that. If I have to get new, I definitely will get new. I don't want to, but obviously I'll make sure that it is not leaking. And he already asked him, and he was like, no way. It's only like a 7-month-old unit, so that is the bright side of things, that I'll have a replacement for it here in the future. The other thing, which is really good news that I'm pumped about, is so my plan on this car was to eventually do a swap. So as much as I love shifting and banging gears, and stick shift life is awesome, this car, these Camaros are just really freaking heavy. And to be able to get to where I want for my goal with racing the car it would take a lot more effort and maybe time, I don't know, just parts and additives, because the racing's just so advanced every year. There's just new little tricks for like slipper valves and stuff like that, and all that stick shift stuff that I feel like I would have to get down or in the car and then get track time down to actually launch it and get to the time in the mile an hour I want to be at. So back and forth with it, with a lot of thoughts, and decided that we're just going to go ahead and 400 swap the whole thing. I actually found a post on Facebook that a guy was looking for a manual transmission for his car, and he just wants to do the exact opposite. He wanted a grudge car or whatever and didn't like it. He missed banging gears, so kind of worked out in a good way. And we're just gonna do a straight swap. I mean, this transmission only has 30,000 miles on it. It's still awesome and new. So I'm gonna go meet him. He's gonna meet me halfway, about 2 hours from where I'm at and where he's at, in I think like Greenville, South Carolina, and we're gonna go just straight swap. I already got a pallet. I'm gonna load everything on it, and he is doing the same. And only thing out of the swap that I'll still need is a drive shaft. So DSS makes a straight swap converted drive shaft with the 400 yoke and everything that bolts right in off their website. So that's the only thing else I will need. Everything else I will have, besides like fluid and I plan on trying to make the factory trans temp gauge work, but all I'll need is a new TR6060 sensor. I'll tap into the 400 pan, and I can literally clip the wire harness in, and I'll have that. So I'm not even worried about that. There's a decent amount of information on the forums for the swap, and there's a really good Facebook group you can follow for people who've done this before. I'm going to be keeping the trans cross member off this car because it literally, you drill 2 new holes and it bolts right to the 400, and you get to keep the factory location of the cross member. You just have to modify the cross member a little bit. So that was pretty cool. I'm not really thinking of anything else. So it's I wasn't planning on doing this, like I said, until later on. But it literally all just lined up in this past couple, like really day, honestly. So I have to have this car completely apart. Clutch, flywheel, the speed bleeder, the transmission. I'm going to give him the shifter. He said he doesn't need it, but all I'll need is the boot, which is staying in the car. So I'll pull the shifter out. And I have to load this on the truck to take it to him. It's Monday today, so we're meeting this Sunday. So I have 6 days, and I work 50 hours. So really just nights when I get off work, like right now, to get this car apart. So that's my spiel. This is going to be part 1 of getting the car stripped down. Not a whole lot here. It'll just be pretty much time-lapse stuff, but I'm going to get as much filming as I can on the process, take you guys along with me. Once we get the new stuff in, that's when we'll kind of step-by-step go over each thing, because there is a lot of little things when it comes to automatics, like with the torque converter and spacing and flex plates and stuff like that, that there's very little videos on YouTube of explaining that stuff, and I just want to elaborate a little more from the knowledge that I've learned from those videos and also through the forums and Facebooks and all that stuff, and maybe just shed a little more light and detail on those steps so it can be as clear as I'm knowledgeably capable of understanding for you guys. And then if y'all have anything to chime in on this as well, or if somebody who's watching this has done it, maybe I'll need to be corrected or something like that, they can show me. So that is it. Like I said, I plan on getting this Pro Charger sent back. I'm literally just waiting on an email with a label so that can go bye-bye. I tried the vent on there. I mean, you can see oil was literally still coming out. The vent did not work. I'll leave that there for the new one just for peace of mind for the future. But like I said, it's a direct T1 SC replacement. I'll bolt that in as soon as I get it. Shouldn't have to mess with the tune. I want to get this car retuned, but I know I am limited on fuel right now because of these 65-pound fast injectors I've got to go. So that will be the next big thing. The fueling and the drive train. Oh no, the diff and axles. Diff and axles are going to be like my absolute weakest link now, because I have strong motor, I got a power adder, strong clutch, drive shaft, factory axle, factory diff. I have the offset bushings because I help with the lowering car, and I have slicks, so they'll take some bite. But I'm really nervous about these axles and the diff. So worst case, I mean, if I have to replace, I know it'll eventually, it'll have to be the next thing I do in the car before I add any more power. It is such a necessary thing now with what I have and plan on doing at the track. It's literally just a matter of time. Mark my words now, hopefully in a little while, because I want to just do the ZL1 diff and axles because those are just solid and they bolt right in. But they're really expensive. Like as of right now, I know the market's crazy and inflation sucks because of Brandon, but they're like it's like if you get a good used one, $2,500, which sucks. But it is what it is. Buy once, cry once. So if that happens, I already know what I'm doing. I'll just send it until then. So first things first, gonna get the car up. I want to close this door because it's already cold in here. I want to get the heater on. Goal tonight, or for this first part, is to get the axles, exhaust, and most of the transmission stuff loosened up. I want to still have to get a pilot bearing removal tool, rent that from O'Reilly's or Advanced, and I'm going to be borrowing my buddy Josh's trans jack, which I'll probably either get tomorrow or Wednesday, so I can muscle this thing out, because all I have is a pump jack, and it sucks. It's hard to get that. That thing is heavy. It's 100 and something pounds, and it's really hard to do on just one, like a little jack. So he's going to let me borrow his trans jack, so it'll make it a lot easier. We can roll that out of here. Then I got to take the flywheel off, yada, yada, yada. So goal tonight, we're just going to set to this. I'm going to set the camera down. Let's get this car up in the air, and we're going to jump right into it. If you guys have any questions for me, let me know. I'll try to answer them best I can to my knowledge so far. Like I said, this is a whole new thing. I've only known manual for cars pretty much my whole life. So the fact of me doing this is, like I said, it was a goal of mine that came a lot sooner. And if the deal worked out and it's legit, then I'll be stoked. And I'll learn, hopefully, probably the hard way, but I'll learn through the process of how this 400 stuff works. But 400, I have all the paperwork on it. I actually talked to the company that built it. It's reverse manual valve body. I think it's reliable 800 build. Trans brake, everything's there that I would do if I was to do it, when I plan on doing it later on in the years to come, probably. But hey, you never pass up a good deal if it comes, especially this. So everyone's happy. But yeah, that's the plan. Let's get started on the car. All right, so good progress through the power of time lapse. It's probably like a minute, but probably took me 20. We're doing good so far. Drive shaft and the exhaust is off. That one fought me a little bit, but we got it off. Up next, we're going to tackle getting the wishbone. Let's see if I can get a light in here. My lights just died. The wishbone right here. You got to take off the clamps up there. It is really hard to see, but there's some joints right there. You lift the tabs. Let's see if I can get a better angle. So you lift these tabs up right here, and you lift those up on each side, and then you work their pins. You pull them out. That'll disconnect the linkage for your shifter, and then of course your cross member bolts for right there. I have 1, 2 connections, 3, I think it's okay, 4. One's right here. The light's falling. Put that back up. So yeah, there's like 4, maybe 5 on the other side up top. Maybe. That's it. Had to disconnect the trans cooler line right here and on this side right here, which those just pop out, and I'll probably have to put a pan down and catch a little bit of fluid or just plug them. I have to do something with these lines. I'm thinking for the 400, so the lines, they go all the way up to the cooler up front. I'll probably just, since I'm not gonna have those anymore. I'm not gonna use that trans cooler. I'm using the trans cooler and fan. I'm just gonna be mounted in the trunk. It's coming with the swap. Probably just gonna cap. I'm
gonna take these off for now, and then I'm gonna take the lines off the front and cap those so those aren't gonna get anything in them, to the trans cooler up front, and then just leave that there. The speed bleeder line I'm going to give with him. So pretty good. I should have just about all I need besides the bell housing bolts to go ahead and get this off. I am gonna wait, unfortunately, till tomorrow, but through editing you'll probably see this on the same video of getting that trans jack so I can safely move this down without damaging it, because we don't need no problems. But I'm gonna have to focus on getting this shifter out, because this is gonna suck. I don't know, this boot comes down. Okay, all right, so that's all it is these Allens, which that one's like cross-threaded in there almost, it looks like. So let's zoom in on that. That one's like barely in there. That's sketchy. Gonna ignore that though, that's fine. Yeah, we need to get this off somehow, because that has got to go. Like I said, I'm gonna give him that with this, so we'll figure that out. But let's keep cool. Yeah, keep moving forward. I'm tired. I'm already tired for a long day today, but oh well. With these connections and getting this transmission all loosened up, so we can just get the jack under here, undo the bell housing bolts, and drop it, and we should be good to go.
All right, so I think I'm done for the night. We're gonna pick up tomorrow. I'm gonna try to get that trans jack from a buddy so I can go ahead and get this trans down. The only thing I didn't do tonight that I was probably gonna do, but I didn't, was the trans, zoom down. The trans cooler and like the fluid, the lines, and disconnect those and drain those. I'll just do it tomorrow, it's easy. And the clutch, bleed the clutch out. So I guess I'll do that. Like I said, tomorrow I want to get the trans jack, because I'll be right there. And then we'll go ahead and pop this transmission out, and we should be good to go ahead and get the new one this coming weekend. So thank you all. Like I said, I hope this helps. This is just a breakdown. We'll go over everything in a little bit, but we will pick up tomorrow. All right, we're back. This is now actually 2 days later. I was gonna work on it last night, but I had to go across all the freaking cities here locally to get some parts, and I needed a slide hammer for the pilot bearing to get out of here, and no one apparently had it, so I had to wait till tonight. But I got a trans jack to get this transmission out, so that should be easier. I'm gonna pretty much pick up right where we left off, finish getting this thing out and load it in the truck. Tomorrow evening, I'm supposed to be meeting to get the swap done, so I can go ahead and get all the parts here. And it'll be kind of like I said at night, so I really won't get a chance to go over it. I'll probably break this up into either 2 or 3 part video, but for now we're gonna finish this transmission, getting it out, set the camera down, and undo the bell housing bolts, clutch line, trans cooler lines, and crossmember bolts, and we should have it out. Then we'll take the clutch out. I've got to package that up. I have the box for all that. So let's get it. All right, so I couldn't finish the time lapse with the camera in the way, trying to get a good angle of it. So I ended up getting the transmission out. Pretty much, I just needed extra room. I actually had buddy Chris come over and just give me a extra hand while trying to get it off the dowels to the block. So we're finished up. We got the transmission actually loaded up in the back of the truck. So I'll be going to get the parts here later in just a little bit. But that's it probably for this part one video. As soon as I get everything back and make sure I have all the stuff to do this swap. Still missing a couple parts. We will make the part two, which is gonna be a little more detailed on step by step how to make everything fit for this car. So little odds and end things. I still need a AN line, or I need AN lines to go for from the transmission to the cooler, which I'll be mounting the cooler in the back in the trunk. So those, I need the fittings for those. I need to modify the cross member, which I'll be doing, getting started shortly. I'll kind of go over that here. And then obviously I still need the drive shaft, but there's a company in Houston, Texas, that can make one and we'll have it relatively quickly, versus drive shaft shop. The people were saying it's taking way longer than they're saying, like 4 weeks. One guy said he was waiting like 50 something days. He's still waiting. So shout out to Texas, because they're awesome. They get things done. They said they can have it turn around worst case a week if it's not in stock. So definitely be going through them to get a drive shaft here. What else? Turbo 400 mount. I want to mention that. You can get these Summit, Jegs, Advanced, doesn't matter. A TR6060, since I'm giving him the sensors and everything, I'm keeping the wiring harness obviously, but I'll need a new transmission temperature sensor and then tap it into the 400 pan, so I can just plug up the factory trans temp gauge. So I'll still have that. I can see that in the car. I don't know really, just little things like that. I think that's pretty much it. Might have to make a bracket also for the linkage to, I want to mount it to obviously the transmission, but additionally I want to mount it probably to the block, just so it's extra sturdy. So I might fabricate something there or get someone to do that. But that does it. So stay tuned. All that stuff will kind of be broken down here in part two coming out. As soon as I get this stuff here in a little bit of time, and then we try it out and see what happens. So after that, I get everything in, I'll probably do a video of me trying it out. Right now, just since it's winter, I'll be on the street, but the real test obviously will be at the track. And if all goes well, everything stays in one piece, everything works. A lot of what ifs, I guess. Hopefully we will definitely dial in some better numbers. So super stoked, super pumped. Just gonna take my time, take y'all along with me. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't seen the other videos of the Camaros so far up to this point, go check those out. There's a lot of helpful things in there, hopefully. And if you have any questions, I'm always trying to respond to every comment. And make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Trying to get my goal for the end of the year, I know I only have like 20 something days left, is just 150 subscribers. I've grown a lot this year, but it's still, in the works, trying to grow the channel a little bit. So y'all make sure to share it with your friends, family, everyone, loved ones. Didn't say it before, but happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas to everyone else. I hope y'all stay safe, and we will see you on the next one. Peace.